Okay,
Of
so
course.
back again with episode 4.
All right.
My Twitch doesn't say we're live yet again. Alright. That's the good stuff right there. You never know. You
hmm
never know if
Yeah.
it actually is or not. You have to like refresh people like, what are you doing? It's like
Yeah.
trying to make sure I'm live. There's delay.
Yeah. Well, I see it live now,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
think we're
it's up for
good.
me. Alright,
Okay.
so hey everyone, it's Dead Robots.
Hello, it's Lastly.
And yeah, okay, so we got episode 4. Um this might be a shorter episode. I don't think we have super much to talk about for extra stuff today.
hmm
We have some stuff though. So what do we want to start with?
We'll just start at the top of the list.
Alright.
Yeah.
So I finally started watching Your Mushy Petal Generations. I loved the first show so much, like the first season, but it's one of those ones that I binged super hard and I loved it. So I started watching this and I'm like, what have I done? It's not done yet. I can't binge it all.
Oh no.
And it's so good. And I did binge all the way up to episode 16, which is out, where they're just
hmm
about to start the next arc. So I'm like, okay, I need to let it sit until it finishes the season so I can binge the rest. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to wait. I just want to watch
Yeah.
it all. I love this show.
Oh,
It's so good at showing like character backstory.
yeah. How how much of like a sports show is that? Because I don't really like the sportsy animes very much. But if it's like not super into sports stuff, because I know it's about biking, but so
It's
I'm
very
like curious.
sportsy. It's
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
a high school racing team, but it's really good because a lot of it's going into like their different backstories and why they're bicycle racing and like their goals and how they met
hmm
their teammates and stuff. And like it gets cheesy at times when they're like, my skill in biking is this, but like all sports shows kind of have that.
Yeah.
Haikyuu, I'd say, is one of the ones that has the least of it. It's more
hmm
just he's really fast and can jump high. It's not like I can hold a lot of oxygen so I can go really fast. It's like, how does that work? It's like it gives oxygen to my muscles fast. It's like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I don't think that's actually it. But they're really good at like character development. Really good.
Okay.
So in the
It,
first season, this is kind of spoilers. There's a character that's kind of comedic relief and annoying and kind of a back minor character, not really anything. Start of this season, he gets his like chance. He's like, I don't want to be this like background character anymore. My like brother is joining now because it's this is the second year, right? This is after
mhm.
their first year. They're now second years. He's like, my brother is joining. I want to be a good role model. I want him to be like I want to like be a good role model. I watched the race from my team from before and I was inspired. Like I actually want to take this seriously now, which he hadn't. And
Mhm.
goddamn, he gives it his all. And it's heartbreaking. It's just like watching this guy who is one of the most average like side characters ever, just doing everything he can to like be a main character. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
my boy.
Well, that
Uh,
sounds cool. I think I might check that out sometime. It's because I'm like curious about it because I always hear it's really good, but the sports stuff puts me off a bit. But I think we'll give that a shot sometime.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't take itself super seriously, which is good. One
hmm
cool thing they did is the Yomoshi Piddle Grand Road, which was part of the first running of it, because I think it was actually 2 seasons that ran right beside each other.
Yeah.
Or the Grand Road was part of the first season. Um, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't actually know about that. I don't think it's canonically in the timeline, I'm not sure. But
hmm
so, uh, it's like they have their inter-high race, and I think it's like if you add up the time between all of the episodes from where
Yeah.
they start to where they end, like this is a the first season goes really slow. The second one's
Mhm.
a lot faster, but the first one goes really slow because it's so in-depth in the character building. So
Oh, okay.
like, but they I think if you it was something like if you add up the time for all the episodes that they do this race, it would add up to how long this race would actually last in real life
Oh, that's
or
cool.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that's exactly it. Don't quote me. That's just something I heard. But like, if that's true, that's so genius. Like,
Yeah. That's a cool thing.
yeah, the show is really well fleshed out. The current season's a bit faster paced. They're pushing a bit more. It has less episodes, so they kind of have to. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish they would have gone a little lower
Yeah.
in speed and then tried to get a fourth season, but yeah, this is actually third season. So yeah, Grand Road is the second season, but it aired right after the first season,
Hmm.
so it ended up being like no break between it. It's just like one super long series. That was 24 episodes too, which it's like okay, 24 episodes. The all 24 episodes were for that one race, which started the season before.
Yeah.
Basically, like it is a lot into it. Uh, it's everything but the movie looks like it's rated above 8, which is pretty good. It shows you it's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, first season is 38 episodes, and at
Oh
the end
wow.
they get to the Inter High, and then the second season is pretty much all Inter High, and I think like 6 to 12 of the episodes of the first season are in the Inter High too. Like it's a long race, which is
Hmm.
what scares me about season 3 is they're just getting to the Inter High, and
Yeah.
it's like episode 16 of 25 right now. If they only do like 9 episodes for it, that's not enough. I hope they'll do a fourth season for the actual like full race, kind of like they did before,
Hmm.
but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, it's a really cool show. Highly recommend it. It's really
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sports. Alright, if you wanna talk about one of the things you brought,
Yeah, sure. So
go back.
one of the things, this is a little bit older news, but there's going to be apparently a Force of Will movie, like based on the card game, and the trailers are from a couple months ago, but I only saw them recently. And there's two trailers out, and none of it makes any sense to me because the first trailer is like, oh, there's this girl in London and giant H.P. Lovecraft looking monsters destroying the city or something, and it's crazy looking, and that looks great. And then the second trailer is like a robot monkey in space or something.
Okay, so I can
And
actually give some backstory because I'm actually
okay,
I know a small amount of Force of Will, not a lot. I'm about
yeah,
to go to my first weeklies for it actually.
yeah,
So Force of Will is kind of like a bunch of different dimensions and worlds connected. I'm pretty sure because there's like talks of
okay,
it being killed, and there's like all these different archetypes from stories and stuff kind of combined. So like
yeah.
Cthulhu, there is a character in the card game like Nyarlathotep who
Oh yeah.
is like the Eldritch demon, and somewhere along the line gets trapped in like a young girl's body and stuff
Uh
like
huh.
that. Meanwhile, this other character, if I just go to this, I think
Hmm.
this is. Okay, I'm not sure if I know this character. Uh, yeah, I probably don't know this. I don't know this character, but like it's from one of the other worlds that they kind
Yeah.
of mix. I don't. Wait, this is a. This is Ram the Bridge to Lanka? Is this a
Hmm.
second movie? It actually looks like it's like Force of Will, the movie second trailer, but it's Ram the Bridge to Lanka. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is based off Hindu mythology. Okay, all
Okay.
of their stuff is kind of based off different like myths and stories. Like you have
Hmm.
like Dorothy characters from Wizard of Oz. You have like uh my cards are with me. They have like Kaguya from Kaguya and the Straw Cutter, who's like a major character in their mythos. There's like Prisia, the Beast Lord, Valentina, the
Hmm.
like Queen of Love and stuff, and um there's someone going around. From what I understand, I haven't delved into lore. You can find a lot of articles and stuff on their page. They have articles about it. I know there's a
Hmm.
YouTuber named Negative Legend that goes over the lore, so if you're interested, check that out.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of his card opening videos. I'm not gonna lie, that was part of what got me into Force of Will. But so
Hmm.
there's like this ongoing arc throughout all the boosters or this story, and from what I can sort of understand is one person's going around possessing people and like using their
Hmm.
bodies for evil, and like they end up killing Preeti or whatever, but she's back, she's revived, and there's different stuff like that. Like different characters do get killed off. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't.
Hmm.
And there's also someone going around trying to destroy worlds. So
Okay.
there's like cards like Planetary Escape or whatever, and like
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember this guy's name. There's like a guy whose like name is like Destroyer of Worlds or something. I'm trying. Ah, I wish I could remember. I have a card of him, but I
Okay.
do not remember his name, which
Yeah.
makes me sad. I have a few cards of him actually. There's like
Mm,
a decent amount.
mm. Yeah. Because when I first saw this, I knew Force of Will was a card game, but I knew like nothing about it. So I'm really curious how they're gonna translate a wide variety of characters and lore and stuff into one single movie. The two trailers, I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe they'll do like a collection of short films stuck into one movie, but I don't know. From the sounds of it, with how the lore is, maybe they'll have some worlds colliding sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think they might do something. Okay, maybe I don't have that card. I was thinking of something else. I do have like Gil Lapis, the Primogenitor, which is like
Hmm.
vampire or something, and he's like pursuer of worlds, conqueror of the Black Moon, stuff like that. They
Yeah.
all have like their own little lore stuff. But do not quote me on any of this. I do not know crap about Force of Will. I'm going to my first weeklies. I'm gonna find out. It's gonna be fun. Anyways, um, I'm thinking they might be doing something like the World of Warcraft movie, where they put out multiple movies based on the lore, or sort of
Hmm.
like so they'll have one that'll probably be like I don't know where it'll be. It'll probably be based on all of the lore of one of the clusters because they kind of do the way they do releases is they have clusters, which is like of boosters. So like their booster, they'll have like maybe six or so in a cluster, and
Yeah.
so you can like their standard or whatever is you can only play cards from sets from the last two clusters that are out. So if you like cards from the first set in the cluster will be around really long. The ones from the last won't be around as long, but it's kind
Hmm.
of okay. But like there's kind of like an overarching plot point for each cluster, and then it goes to another overarching plot point, and each booster adds more plot as it comes along, which is a pretty cool way to do it. So I think the
Yeah.
movie will probably be based on the plot to one of the clusters. I don't know which one it would be. If the first one has Cthulhu and Yarlathotep, it'd probably be either. Well, no one's gonna do Valhalla. I think it'll be either Grim Cluster or I should actually be on the Force of Will page
Mm-hmm.
website so people can kind of see what we're like the card game we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably the Grim Cluster or the second last cluster. I don't think it'll be the current cluster. I mean, it might be, but the one
Yeah.
before this had like crazy plot stuff going on, so I think it's gonna be that one. But yeah, you
Okay.
can like go check out stories.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the newest story was heartbreaking. Let's
Mm-hmm.
not talk about that. But yeah, I don't recognize the characters in the second trailer, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
know which cluster it will be. It might be one of the
Okay.
old ones because I don't know as much stuff from the old. That's why I'm thinking it'll be like the Grim or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where the heck is? Try to find something on here.
Mm.
Card database. Here we go. Card sets. Yeah, there's the Lapis, Alice, and Grim cluster. We're currently on the Lapis, I believe. Alice was last, and Grim was the first of the ones released kind of in America. There's the Valhalla cluster, which was like the original deck release, original version of the game that came out. It's a Japanese company, so it was out in Japan, and from what I've heard, it's banned in pretty much every format except one because it's kind of broken and not good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, so I think it'll be Grim or Alice, although it might be Lapis, which is the current one, because it might be like trying to drum up sales for it.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause that's well, the movie isn't coming out 2018, so I don't know if they're gonna do new cards by then or not. So could be some cluster they haven't released yet, even.
Uh,
So
that's possible. They usually, I think, go like a cluster is like a year set, so I'm not sure.
okay.
I think it would make the most sense to go back and start from the Grim and then like work their way forward
Mm-hmm.
and be like, hey, this is like the first thing, and then like do another one for the Alice cluster and then another for Lapis. The problem is if it takes 2 years to make, you'll be two clusters ahead every time,
Yeah.
so you'll be really far behind. But they could do the Grim cluster and the Alice cluster together potentially. I don't know quite how much.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because you can like kind of see the plot just from the names of the boosters. It's like the Millennia of Ages, the Moon Priestess Returns, the Castle of Heaven in the Two Towers, Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale, into
Hmm.
the Battle of Ataraktia, the Moonlit Savior, the Twilight Wanderer, the Seven Kings of the Lands, into like Return of the Dragon Empire. Well, actually, I'm doing these backwards. It's Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale, Castle of Heaven. I'm supposed to be reading from top to bottom for release. I didn't realize till I got to the Lapis
Well,
cluster because I'm like, oh wait, Curse of Frozen Cascade is at the top and that's the first release. Return of the Dragon
it's
Emperor is the new one. Whoops. But yeah, like their names kind of do work in a way that could tell a story,
yeah. Oh.
which I guess I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really, if
Hmm.
it does come through, I want it to be about the Alice cluster really badly because it's super interesting and cool. Most of the stuff in there, it's like,
Yeah. So yeah, this would be a cool thing to just keep an eye on. It's still a ways off, so
yeah.
just keep an eye on that for sometime next year. I don't think they have an exact release date yet, just sometime.
Do they have a page on my anime list?
I
No, it doesn't
don't
look
think
like
so.
it. It's not considered an anime. Dang it.
Yeah, yeah. It just says coming in 2018.
Yeah.
That's all so far. So
Alright.
let's keep an eye on and see.
So, one of the other things we have to talk about is uh, a friend of ours that we know is making an anime site that pulls stats off your my anime list. We can't tell you the name yet because the servers aren't good and it would like crash instantly. So, not to ruin his time trying to make it work and make it awful for him. Basically, it's a site you put your my anime list name in. Oh, oh, it's Harvard. Sorry. Ah, I missed Harvard in chat because I had other stuff open. Hi, Harvard. Sorry, and bye because he apparently left already. Rip. Okay. So back to where I
So
was getting onto. So it pulls stats from your My Anime list, like anime you've watched and manga, because a lot of them, a lot of stuff when it's like, here's a recommendation, it's just like the popular stuff that kind of fits your genre. So it's not really a lot of interesting stuff. And most of them will only go straight from anime stats. They won't like cross check between anime and manga to like say you've only watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, well then maybe I'll recommend it for manga because it's on there. Stuff like that. Like your anime will influence your manga recommendations and vice versa. I can't show on stream again, but I can go to it and I'll just name off some of the stuff I just got, and you'll kind of understand how you get lots of weirder, lesser known stuff, which is really cool. It actually works for like recommendations. So I got recommended On Your Mark, which is some drama music sci-fi thing. I don't know. Oji-san no Lamp, Johan Shinwa Taikei, Ginga Tetsudo no Yoru, or oh wait, they have the English titles on some of these. Oh, thank God. Well, the Tatami Galaxy, Night on the Galactic Railroad, Tekon Concrete, Cat Soup, Height Catch Precure, because I'm watching Precure, of course I would show up. Mind Game, One More Time, One More Chance, and Persona 5, the animation movie. So it's like you get some of the big stuff and some of this other weird stuff. And you get manga stuff too. I have like The Walking Man, Sanctuary, Planets, Ashita no Joe, Omoido Amanon, which I don't know what half of this stuff is, so. Do,
yeah,
did you want to
it's
check out your stuff?
yeah. I've looked at it, and there's and what I really like about this is that it doesn't just show you the popular stuff. Because I was talking to him the other day about this, and it was like most of the time a big site will have like recommendations for whatever, and it's just whatever is popular that you haven't listed. But he's like actually digging down, and so mine has like Ashita no Joe and like Lupin the Third.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
sports stuff.
yeah,
Watch that sports anime. I'm actually looking at yours right now. There's some
hmm
good stuff on here I've seen. Like,
yeah.
well, manga-wise, Genshiken's good. I need to finish that. And then you got Non Non Biore, the repeat OVA. I think I still need to see the OVA for repeat.
Yeah.
I also need that on Blu-ray.
think I added the original on Biori to my watch list because you've talked about it so much. So
It's
that's
so
probably why the
cute and good.
I'll watch it eventually. I swear.
I'm just
So
sad because if I buy Volume 2 on Blu-ray, I'm gonna have to sell my Volume 1 on DVD and buy Volume 1 on Blu-ray so it matches.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna get upset at it because the
hmm
cases will be different.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be upcoming soon. He's working on it to make the server more robust so people can use it all at once. So we'll talk about it more when he gets it done, I
Yeah,
guess.
we'll show it off.
hmm
We're
So,
free publicity for him. He totally knew that. I don't know if he knew we were doing this podcast, but it's like
yeah.
after the second episode, like that night, he just comes to me. He's like, "Hey, you're a weeb, right? Can you test this for me?" I'm like, "Okay." Well, I was like, "Okay, thanks for calling me a weeb. At least I know you're not like hacked, and this isn't just some like spam account giving me a random link now." Bless.
yeah. Yeah. He had mentioned something to me about this a while ago and said like he was just kind of working on it for funsies and came back a couple weeks ago with a more formed thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a cool thing. I'm really glad that like someone is at least trying to make a better recommendation engine than what most sites use.
Yeah. I still need to check out the stuff that has shown up on mine. I haven't been watching too much outside of Yo and Mushy Pedal.
Hmm.
The stuff. Oh, I forgot to update that I watched episode 4 of our show, so it's not on my anime
Oh,
list. I'm just gonna do that real fast.
okay.
Usually I have like
So
20 shows going at once. I only have 5. It's so wrong.
yeah, I've only got five too. I had like 4 or 5 other shows I was planning on watching this season, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get started on them now. Like 4 episodes behind, I'll just watch them some other time, maybe. So I'm down to just 5 shows that I'm catching up with, or
Yeah.
staying caught up with, rather.
I finally, because you like mentioned how you'd always drop stuff, I finally went through and just like purged my list and dropped a bunch of stuff. I went from like 13 drops to 50. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Oh, but it feels so good to have the rest of your list be so clean. Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, my watch list. Well, I still have
Hmm.
like 50 shows on hold, so it's not that clean.
Yeah. I keep
But
thinking of going through on hold and just purging all of them. Be like, whatever. I
I
haven't watched
purged.
this in 3 years.
I purged
Yeah.
through both. My problem is it's like, well, I have shows on my watching. I'll finish them, then I'll pull stuff off on hold, or sometimes I'll just be like, I kind of want to watch it, and I'll pull it off on hold for a bit, put it back.
hmm
Just like I'll get to it. They're all shows I want to
Yeah.
watch.
I'll get to it eventually. Just as soon as there starts to be new anime I want to watch, I'll get
Yeah.
around to it.
It's not even always just new. It's just I don't really have the time for more than a few shows at once. So it's like
hmm
once I do finish those, then I'll just add from there instead of always picking new shows to watch.
Yeah.
Although I'll probably pick a ton of new shows to watch too.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So the last thing we had to talk about was one of
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. So this is sort of anime related because in EVE Online, the game, there's a war being fought about anime. And there's an article on PC Gamer about it, and it's actually a really good article.
I just
And
opened it.
yeah, it's so there is one alliance that in their Discord they were getting spammed with too many people spamming anime pictures and throughout their Discord channels. They're like, "There's no more anime allowed in Discord." They put a ban on it, and then they had some conflict with another other faction in the game, and they were like, "Okay, if you go kill enough of their people, we'll unban anime on our Discord." And then the people who don't like anime said, well, what if we kill like twice as much as them? Can we get it rebanned forever? And so now there's this like big headhunting going on of people trying to get kills for or against anime, and it's totally ridiculous. And it's
Uh,
great.
that
And
sounds hilarious.
yeah, I actually read a little bit addition to this article is that apparently the pro anime people control this sector of space that in like the next patch that's a couple months away is going to become a lot more valuable. So there's actually a lot of political ramifications between this really silly war going on. It's so it's like really ridiculous. EVE Online is great for stories like this. And yeah, This article has some pretty great pictures with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Jeez.
Yeah,
Well, it's a space war. Of course it's gonna be about anime.
of course.
How long until people start making Captain Harlock references when they murder people?
Mm. So yeah, so I don't know. It's didn't have a whole lot to say on that because I don't really know anything about Eve other than it's like my favorite game that I'm never going to play ever. I just every couple months I like to hear about some crazy war going on. So that was all for that.
Uh, so, right, it's like, from what I understand,
Mhm.
they kind of have like, this is all about a group of democratically elected officials in their own little country they've made in this game.
Mhm.
So what happens? Because I'm sure there's other factions, right? Not
Yeah.
just this one having its civil war.
Mhm.
What do they think? Like, are they just gonna
I
be
don't
like, you know what, we like anime, we're gonna join the anime side and try to get them to come to our side. You can join our Discord. Like, is there any of that
know.
stuff happening? Like, any of this,
Uh,
like, bribery or
so
stuff?
So one of the two factions involved in this anime stuff, they are allies with one of like the biggest factions in the game. So it's like, oh, if there's like too much trouble going on, then that big faction might come in, and like then like all their allies will join in. It could become like a pretty big thing potentially. But right now, it seems like most other factions are kind of staying out and just seeing how this goes, how it turns out. So
That's
it
pretty
would be
funny.
pretty great if we get like another massive galactic war from
Over
them
anime.
over anime. That would be so fantastic. It would be
Just like
perfect.
destroys the game's ecosystem.
Yeah.
Wasn't there recently some war that like basically involved the whole game and nearly got them shut down?
There was a little while ago, the last time Eve got in the news, I think was there was this like massive battle that was the peak of war that if you converted all of the cost of all the ships that got destroyed to like their in-game currency and converted that to real money, it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars of ships got destroyed, and
Oh,
it was
right,
like a
right.
major hit. Yeah, it was some major hit to the in-game economy because of it. But I haven't heard a whole lot of out of Eve since then. So
Eve is such an interesting game, honestly, because it's like this massive, pretty much open world where it is very political, it is very alliance based. It's like, you can't. I don't know how well you'd get being like a pirate trying to like attack someone at random because you'd be hunted down. Like,
yeah.
you really have to choose these sides, but then you also have like, when there is war, it's kind of like real life. There are financial ramifications that end up impacting the entire game. And it's
Hmm.
just, it's so interesting to see it as like this weird kind of bubble of like a miniature society and how it
Yeah.
kind of reflects actual society.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the Warcraft thing with the glitch where you could bring the dot out of the boss fight, and they created the huge plague that was killing hundreds of thousands of players or
Oh.
whatever.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember
like,
that.
yeah, like people study it as actual like epidemic, like how people react to it. Like there was studies done on it, and it's just so
Hmm.
fascinating that these like weird online games can have like such a real socio-political kind of context to them, and then that it gets fucked up by anime.
Yeah. Yeah. This Eve is just a totally fascinating game. It's really great to just read about sometimes. And apparently, people have started like writing books on wars that happened years ago.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's just great.
Like documentary style, or like as their
I
character kind of plot wise, because those would be fun, I think.
Yeah, I think they do like a mix of each. I think I'm not sure
That'd be
because I
fun.
think there was like a Kickstarter for one book that was going to be based on all of this one alliance and war, and I don't know. I haven't actually read any of that stuff, but I've always been interested. Like, oh, maybe I'll pick up a copy of that and read about Eve some more. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool.
Alright, so about time to get into our book club, I think.
Yep.
Um, Yeah, definitely time, because I'm going to
Hmm.
have to go, like, in an hour, so we'll need to get it
Okay.
over with. I mean, we
Yeah.
definitely won't go that long, but I need to get stuff
Yeah.
ready still, because
Yeah.
I
No
need to get
problem.
all my cards ready. So, first up, I guess, Jing? I don't
Yeah.
know where we
Sure.
started with last time, so we'll start with
I.
Jing this time.
Okay. So, is part two continue on from last week with the Donut City of Time stuff? And I don't know. I didn't keep super strict notes on this or super detailed notes on this, but it was. I felt like uh, mm, I don't know. I feel pretty mixed on this episode as a whole, but it was. It's like this stuff I like, but I don't know. I guess it's just the show continuing to be that mixed bag of like, well, it's parts are cool and parts of it aren't. And I've like mostly forgotten what happened in this episode besides like three things.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
not much happened in this episode. It's just a lot of
yeah,
action scenes, really. A
mm-hmm.
lot of pointless ones, like the goddamn eggnog boys.
Yeah. The eggnog boys.
The
That's
eggnog boys.
so.
Eggnog.
One thing about them is that for some reason, over the years, from reading Jing so long ago, the eggnog boys, their like introduction panel where they first show them, for some reason that image has like stuck in my mind. And then in the show, when they first introduced the eggnog boys, it's like an exact recreation of that panel. So I was like, oh man, it's like
They're
it's
so
exactly the same.
useless in the show.
Yeah.
It's like the four of them go out looking for him. Only one finds him and runs into a mirror. Which my entire note for this whole sequence is just pointless action and Deus Ex Murina.
Yeah, it was
Bad
a
puns.
very convenient mirror, just in this random alleyway. Oh, there just happens to be a mirror here. How
Yeah, and it's
convenient.
like, where's the other three eggnog boys? They just give up and then go back. It's like, you failed me. It's like, yeah, we're bad. We were here for
Yeah.
5 minutes. They put up less of
Yeah,
a fight than the gatekeepers.
yeah. That's about how useful as they were in the book. So it's
Nah,
at least consistent. So
it's okay.
they've
They
got
get
that going.
brutally murdered later. Like
Yeah,
they are brain killed. It is.
yeah.
That's
That's
some brutal shit.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
uh
So
but yeah,
mm,
so
they
um
they
we
got to the giant locked door. Mm, I forget how exactly this episode went, but like next was they were at the locked door and Jing's trying to pick it with his knife thing, and then
that is
the
much later.
is it
Yeah,
is it did
okay,
a
so
lot happen?
yeah,
Okay,
so the next part there's like this
yeah.
scene where like they're in the basement, it's like the rebels and they aren't they're
Oh
kind of
yeah.
inspired but they aren't going back and they'll
Hmm.
talk about how he must be a god or use magic to steal her and Maribel's just like
Yeah.
you people are
No,
dumb. He's just a kid.
he's just a dude.
He's a fuck
Yeah.
boy, but I love him. It's like she's insulting him, but also like fawning over him at the same time, and
Yeah.
it's so awkward. And they're like,
Hmm.
he reminds me of myself as a kid. Let's go. And then it's like, uh, what? What is it? It's like the leaves overflow. Like they never explain how he does this, but he backs up the clock and somehow gets all the stuff in the bottom to be at the top. And I don't like. It's never
So
explained how he does that.
yeah, it was he like I don't know. That was really weird. It doesn't make sense in the book either. But it's like he planted seeds in the sand of the hourglass, and that clogged it up because apparently seeds grow super fast or something. I don't know. It's like it just works. Just don't worry about it. Don't think about it
Alright,
too
yeah,
much.
because they don't
Yeah.
even show him planting seeds or mention that's what he does. It's just suddenly it's
Yeah.
backed up and petals are flying out. I'm like, oh, that wasn't sand, that was petals the whole time. And it's like, no, it's not. But
Yeah.
when the petals start coming down, there's this
Hmm.
really nice part in the soundtrack with like this little twinkly kind of like xylophone song, and it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That was the best part of this episode, that one song.
Yeah, I actually had that written down of like I really like the music in this episode at parts. It was really good. That exact part you're talking
The
about with the xylophone.
Yeah,
It was so good.
it's the best part of the show. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so then he just, after backing up and just theoretically stopping, he's like, I never had to back up in the first place. I'm just gonna break it. It's like, what was
Yeah.
the point?
Just, it's like I guess he just wanted to stop him just to get their attention or something.
I
I don't know.
guess he's being a show off.
Yeah.
Or I guess he's trying to get the seeds to, like, fly all over the city, but it's like, you may as well just, like, throw the seeds
Yeah.
all over the city instead of in one place first. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. There's the I feel like the plot in this part two, like it kind of falls apart a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just hand waving of like, just go along with
Yeah,
it.
there wasn't much plot in part one, but it kind
Yeah,
of was less in part two, which is scary.
yeah. It's
So,
like these.
yeah.
Go on.
Well, no, you go on first.
I was just gonna say they managed to have like less plot in the second part, but like tried to have more plot and somehow ended up with less. Like that's a real
Yeah,
magic trick.
it's like they just tried to put too much stuff in at once. They're
Hmm.
like, well, we have 2 episodes, we can slow down the first part when they shouldn't have, and they should have slowed down the second part. I think
Yeah,
kept the first part more nonsensical because it didn't have a lot of plot in the first part to begin with.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and they still made it nonsensical and too fast and like skipped the part
Oh
about
yeah.
the plants. Um,
Hmm.
so now they're at the door. He
Okay,
destroys
now they
that.
are.
Some guys show up. Well,
Hmm.
he's trying to pick
And
the lock.
yeah, so one of the things they skipped, which I thought was a real bummer, was that they when the people show up, they have like the clocks, the broken clocks off the coffins. They have
Yeah,
those as shields, and there's like he has this whole speech there. The guy with the one hand, he has this whole speech about how like they're indestructible these clocks and they've defended our people for generations and it's this whole thing, and they like just
which is
skip
fine
over
because
it.
they're saying fuck clocks. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and like they just skip over all of it. It's like, oh well, okay, I guess we'll just there's no time to stop and talk
just
about anything.
pose and look pretty, which is weird
Yeah,
because Mary Bell shows up in that outfit with the clock and stuff, and then she's not in it anymore. She like it's gone. The clock is
yeah,
gone. She's not in the outfit anymore. I'm like, oh wait, what?
yeah. I don't know.
Back to her
Then
regular outfit. All of them kind of just suddenly are back in their regular outfits because they had like different ones with their clocks.
yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Yeah.
And then the resistance leader guy has his great line of "I always keep a spare on hand."
Yeah.
'Cause
His
his hand
hand
is a
was the
key.
key the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
What a,
I guess he lost his hand trying to steal the key. Well, no, he lost it to Crocodile, who, in theory, has nothing to do with any of this other plot. He just
yeah.
lives in the sewers. Is like, yeah, fuck all y'all. This is my sewers. Get out.
Hmm. So and then they open the door and there's the weird winemaking process from the clock grapes and it's all strange. I
Yeah,
don't know.
gremlins attack,
Yeah.
and,
There's
and then they get to see the grapes with the clocks, and there's a random guitar scythe ghost thing.
yeah. It's like the Hard Rock Reaper.
Yeah,
It's
which
like
is shown once.
harvesting grape.
Just
Yeah.
shown once.
It's just bizarre. More bizarreness from this show. And then they find the one wild bunch that's the only like pure grapes or whatever, because they don't have little clocks on them. And then they go to steal them, and oh no, Master Gear shows up, has to stop them.
Sephiroth. Da 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 da. Oh,
Mm,
I'm really stuffed up. If you want
mm.
to keep going, I'm just gonna grab a Kleenex real fast.
Okay, so they start fighting, and they move up to like the top of the tower, the top of the tower, and in this in the room. So it didn't really do this well in the show, but in the books, the room is supposed to have like 13 statues, and has like 12 of them are the zodiac symbols, like Aries and Pisces and stuff. And then there's a 13th one, and there's this whole thing of they destroy all the statues except the 13th one, and then there's a big speech about it being the 13th hour and something about time, and I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. But they skipped over all that, and I was
Yeah,
like,
he
oh,
he said something about this is your final hour or whatever, and I did.
yeah,
But they had only destroyed one statue then? I guess that they're like, we'll just destroy the 13th instead of
yeah,
all of them.
yeah. It's like, we'll just I don't know. We only have 2 minutes left in the show. Just do whatever. I don't know. So, and
My favorite statue is the babies boxing. The Gemini
yeah,
one, it's just like,
it's like,
Fight Club, baby fight club, let's go. Actually, I shouldn't joke about that. Some people got arrested because they actually tried running that out of a
oh,
daycare.
oh, geez, that's. Oh, I remember hearing about that. That is
Yeah,
terrible.
Jesus Christ, baby fight club. Don't do
Yeah,
that. Don't do
yeah.
that.
Don't make babies fight. That's a bad thing, as it turns out.
Yeah, real bad thing.
Yeah. So, and So the Jing and Kerr split up and get Kerr goes off to do secret things, and then the fox, I don't remember the fox's name. It's Sherry. That's
Yeah,
it.
sure.
She's all like, "Oh, you're doomed now, boy." But then all the clocks go off because Kerr set them all to noon, and so now all the alarms are going off in the city all at once. And oh, I can't hear anymore. Then Jing can sneak up and threatens her with his blade thing, and Sherry just, "Oh, I'm out here. I'm out. See ya."
Fuck you, dude. You did protect
Yeah.
me, right? But I have a question about the grapes. When
Okay.
they find the free ones, they mention something about how like it makes you lose track of time. It's like
Yeah.
ecstatic or something. It's like, are those grapes drugs? Is that weed?
Hi.
Is that weed grapes?
I have no idea. Those, because I think they're pretty vague about them in the books too. Of just like, oh yeah, they're the best grapes you'll ever taste or something.
Weed
So,
grapes.
delicious.
I'm sure
So,
someone's tried to like crossbreed weed and grapes before, like the plants.
yeah, probably.
Probably.
That seems like something someone would try at some point. I'm thumbing through the book now, and I'm not seeing anything.
Mm, okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, so Sherry's like, yeah, I'm out, fuck you, and just disappears into the floor. Can Kerr do that? Can Kerr just, like, magically teleport? Because they have to be related. He says something like, you're not good enough to own a pet. And it's like, okay, so Kerr, I guess, maybe pets are like the animals that shoot lasers?
I have no idea. Just, who knows?
And
I think it was just trying to be clever dialogue.
maybe I'm just curious if Kerr can just like shift into the floor and be like, fuck yeah, fuck all y'all, I'm out.
Mm.
If they're like
Ah,
spirit animal things.
I have no idea. It's I don't know. They don't put much work into like trying to explain how things work in the universe. It's like they're just hoping you'll nod your head and go along with it
Just
all.
accept it. Just
Yeah,
accept it.
like just go along with it. Don't worry about it. Don't think too hard. So,
Oh yeah. Fuck the night vision thing in this episode. It was kind of
oh
cool for the
yeah,
first 2 seconds, but then it got really obnoxious.
yeah. It's like they kind of had to do something to like communicate like, oh, the room is like pitch black now, and like,
They outright
yeah,
said it was pitch black though. Like you
yeah,
don't have to keep doing it, or you can just do like the where it's all dark and then like
hmm
there and then like have the flash of light into it, which would be cool stylistically if they did it right.
yeah.
Instead of just throwing
I
this
bet.
ugly green filter on that's like really, really badly done. It's like early
Yeah,
2000s bad effects. It's the same from their opening video. It's like that awkward. This is awful.
yeah. It's like someone had a really good idea, but they just couldn't pull it off right or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then, and then Master Gear. I had forgotten that this even happened in the books, but he like merges with the Demon of Time or something, and
Which is
becomes a
like
giant machine man.
yeah,
Ah,
like I was like, is that clock thing like the hand thing above the head? Was that like a spaceship?
yeah,
Was it like some alien machine thing? Because at first I thought it was gonna be like some aliens come out. But
mhm.
it's just like, and we got
Yeah,
foreshadowed about the Demon of Time by the guy in the hot tub at the beginning, and they have to point it out
mhm.
to you again because who would ever remember that one
Yeah.
line, and just not assume, oh, they must mean Master Gear.
Mhm.
Oh, we skipped over when he stopped the clocks. He murdered all the birds. Like
Oh right.
that scene was brutal. Their heads, like I guess they were supposed to be like cuckoo clocks the way their heads went, but like they
Mhm.
looked like their brain was being ripped apart. Like they were like,
Yeah,
jeez,
that was. Oh
that was brutal. Just straight up murders the
yeah.
birds. Why do I have clocks in their heads in the first place?
Aesthetics. I don't know.
Yes,
Just fashionable, you know. Roosters are very concerned with fashion, apparently.
that's true.
So, then Master Gear merges with the Demon of Time or whatever, and
And after he was so hard to beat, he
yeah,
must be even stronger, right?
yeah. Except he totally isn't.
He just gets like fucking murdered. One shot from Kirk, he's dead. He dead.
Hmm Yeah. It's- a very abrupt end to a villain that they kind of built up. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You think he's gonna be suddenly stronger, worse? It's just like no. But something was like the robot was telling him to take part. The demon. It was just really
Hmm.
weird because they didn't really foreshadow it well at all. But I mean,
Yeah.
I've just come to realize this show doesn't foreshadow anything.
Hmm.
They don't know how to.
Yeah. So they blow up Master Gear, and then the tower starts falling apart because, of course, it's a dramatic ending, I guess.
So they fall into the flowers, which happen
Yeah.
to grow that fast.
Yeah. I don't think they said it in the show, but it was supposed to be like all the people in the city like cleaned up all the flower petals and put them all in one spot, very conveniently.
Wait, but then how do the flowers grow across the city after if they gathered all this stuff?
I don't know.
They
Maybe
have
that's
to
a flash forward.
redistribute it after. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool when they show the outside view though, and it's like the whole
Hmm.
city and surroundings was actually one big clock all along, and like the way the flowers bloom throughout the day is like the
Yeah.
hands. That was the cool.
Hmm.
That
That
was neat.
was.
They have some
Yeah.
cool ideas, but
Yeah.
just a
This.
ton of them.
Yeah. Jing has a bunch of like cool art all throughout it. So I'm glad that they're finding ways to incorporate all of the really awesome art into it and not just making it a show.
Also, fuck Jing. He has like this whole vine of the fruit. He can share some with Kuro. He can take his time, enjoy them all. He just plops the whole fucking thing in his mouth, stem and all.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, boy.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's not how you eat. That's
No,
some rude
that's
shit.
it's the wrong way to eat grapes. Mm.
Alright, so that's Jing
Yep.
episode 4.
Yep.
And we're gonna
Continue.
have a new story from them next time. I don't know if it's gonna be another 2-part.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious if they
I
try to
don't
do
know.
more 2 parts from here, if they just go back to 1 parts, because they're like, the 2 part was bad.
Mhm. I
um,
think somewhere in this season there's another two-parter, but I don't remember if it's next or
Probably
not.
near the end, there's another 2-parter.
Yeah,
Because
that would make sense.
there's like, on their website, it's like, characters and voice actors. There's Jing and Kerr's main. Postino,
Hmm.
who we learned was Moomin Rider, is a
Yeah.
supporting. And then there's someone named Stir, it says supporting. So there's one character who is supporting, which means they have to show up enough to not just be a Jing girl.
Yeah.
So
I don't
there'll
know. I don't remember
probably be like an
Stir.
arc later on.
Yeah, maybe. Must be.
And then there's Eyes the movie.
Mm.
Alright, so after that we got Clockwork Planet, and stuff happened in Clockwork Planet, but like Jing, it was mainly action stuff.
Hmm.
But I mean, I guess that's okay. They built up properly to where you just get all the action scenes. Like they didn't just all in one episode. That's all it is. They're like
Hmm.
there was plot leading up to this. It was kind of foreshadowed and that. So
Hmm.
uh, we we start off with them arriving back at the clock tower, and they're like, "There's people inside." Is it the enemies we haven't seen yet? Nah, it's the Clock Fam, as I call them.
Yeah.
And Clock Dad is like, "Yo, why would we stop? We're still
Hmm.
working." But it's weird because how did they get back in without being stopped by the military? Like
Yeah.
all their robots. I think it's kind of shown later. There's that one guy who's like fishy as fuck who got like all the back end details on that they were gonna do the purge in the first place, and then Clock Dad is pretty buff as
Hmm.
we find out later on in this episode.
Yeah.
Clock Dad is basically Walter from Helsing, but with clocks. And potentially not, spoilers here, potentially not working with Nazis.
Mm.
But he also
Mm.
might be. I would not be surprised if he is actually a villain all along.
Yeah.
Because he goes in, he's like, oh, so that guy got the initial Y series. He's the one who got the one who follows. Like, he fucking knows about the Y series. He knows about Ryuzu.
Yeah.
He's probably the one who fucking dropped them from the plane
Yeah.
when they're flying it. That's my theory. He's like, someone's gonna get them. But was
Hmm.
it for a bad intention, or was it to get them away from the military? We don't know. But he's
Hmm.
suspicious as fuck now.
Yeah. Something's not right about him. I don't know.
And then we got to see Ryuzu pout, and it was adorable.
Hmm. It was. It was. my only notes for the early part of the episode is Naoto is the actual worst, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, no, same.
I
I have a
thought,
few fuck Naotos in there.
yeah, and then also the arguing scene between Naoto and Mary and Ryuzu. I'm like, the only good part of this is Ryuzu's pouting face. The rest
Yeah,
of this,
yeah,
I think, is
exactly.
not good.
Exactly. It's like I hate Naoto so much. He just like does not understand not to, like how not to be a fuckboy. It's like people
Hmm.
are gonna die. Just do your thing already. So it's like it's pretty straightforward. This whole first section, he does his
Hmm.
sound thing, finds the gears, and they all work together to fix them. One
Yep.
big team, hooray! But
Yeah.
like it's weird that she has to go and explain to him all he's going to do it. She should have just brought him in. It's like, okay, go find them. And just said to everyone, like, oh, we'll know where the issues are in a second. Like, she didn't have to
Hmm.
explain where it was. She could have just had him do that and then come back and be like, okay, yeah, go to these places and fix them. She
Yeah.
didn't need to show off. I think she wanted to. Like, I think it might actually be important that she wants to show him off as,
Hmm.
like, possibly some potential show of power, or to maybe if they do get out of this, because it still hasn't caught up to where the first episode ends, and she did quit being like her Meister or whatever, and the guild is going to be after them. It might be kind
Hmm.
of like, okay, take him with you, they don't know about him. Have him
Yeah.
join the Meisters, be safe. We don't know that yet, though, so that's
No.
just like my theories on why, because it doesn't make sense for her to have to like show everyone, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's.
I feel like there'd have to be a reason behind it, but there might not be because the show's it's okay, but it's not
Hmm.
like high enough tier that it wouldn't. But it's written by the guy who did No Game No Life, where everything kind of mattered. So who knows?
Yeah. Hmm.
Um.
Okay.
So yeah. So of course the military's like, oh, fuck you. Who cares if you fix it?
Yeah.
We're purging anyways. We have to hide the evidence. So
Yeah.
they start purging it.
Yeah, and this is I got a little confused here because I thought that them fixing things was supposed to prevent the purge from like being able to happen. I thought that I had thought that the purge was going to be like, oh, it's breaking down and we're just intentionally not going to fix it so that it'll break naturally, but apparently they just have a big switch to flip. It goes,
Yeah,
okay,
they
get rid of
just
it all.
needed the break as a reason, right?
Yeah, I
If the
guess.
break didn't happen, they probably would never have started this. They just decided to.
Hmm.
But then they're like, oh, we have to destroy evidence, and we're gonna purge it because it could be fixed, and we tried to make them not. Which it still doesn't explain why they didn't want them to fix in the first place, right? There's something fishy
Hmm.
going on.
Yeah,
Which they did say her sister is in the tower, and they might be trying to get rid of her. That's
yeah.
my theory. It's just
Okay.
mine. But so it's like we need to use the imaginary gear to reverse gravity because that's not how it works. It was supposed to
Yeah.
stop time.
Yeah, it's
I guess it can do gravity stuff too, but it's like dude will not even listen to her plan. Like he's fucking Naoto is such a fuckboy. Like for all we know, she could have just activated the mystery gear thing, paused time so it wouldn't fall, and gone over and beat the shit out of the guys who are going to disengage it and
mhm.
stop it. But
Yeah.
instead, he won't listen. He's a huge fuckboy. He makes them waste all this time. It's dropping. They're dying. So she just is like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, just do it already. And just, like, stabs herself.
Yeah.
It's like, just use my heart. Plug it in somewhere. I don't give a shit. Like, it wasn't really explained that they only needed the heart, and that was really weird and questionable.
Hmm.
I feel like it makes it sound like she has to use it herself, but they're like, nah, there's the gear in her height. We'll just use that and use her height as the gear. I was like, okay, all
Yeah.
right then.
I have a feeling this show might just use imaginary gear as like Deus Ex Machina whenever they need to make something happen. Like I don't know, imaginary gear. It just fixes everything.
Yeah,
It can
that's what it
stop
sounds
time
like
and
it's ending.
gravity
But
and
it's okay. It's
yeah,
imaginary. It just make up wherever you
yeah,
want because it's all imaginary, I guess.
yeah. It's got imaginary in the name. It's free license to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, so she stabs herself. It's not really shown properly how they're doing it, what they're doing, but they're like, we're gonna stop gravity and turn, like, fix this thing. It's like, take back control. I think it's like they have to use it to start lifting it so it doesn't fall long enough for them to hack in and take full control. So
Yeah,
that they can't, the military can't remotely drop it.
yeah. That seems like what was happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have like the enemies coming, so you have Mr. Glasses and Mr. Clock Dad go to fight them, and it shows off that Clock Dads can fight.
Mhm. By throwing screwdrivers at things,
Yeah,
apparently.
I mean, apparently that's an actual technique because he like mentions oh, what's her name? Mary. It's like she knows
Mhm.
everything about fixing clocks, all the skills, all the like techniques, and she's like throwing her screwdrivers really far away to like fix stuff because she throws them
Mhm.
and they're spinning while they go in and they land in the tiny hole and start spinning, that's an amazing aim to begin with, but like apparently that's an actual technique that they just learn and can do because apparently all of these meisters must be ninja people, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
Clock ninjas. We've been talking
Yeah.
about clocks a lot this episode.
Yeah.
Lots of clocks.
Yeah. I think that's going to be all the clocks in Jingle. I don't think there's any more after this. So
I
we'll be
hope
back
not.
to the yeah, we'll be back to the regular amount of clocks next
Yeah,
week.
yeah, the regular amount. Um, but yeah, so yeah, they managed to stop it from falling. It's all good. It's like, yeah, we saved the day, and she gets fixed and wake up. The scene with her and her dream, I think, was actually done really well. It was
Hmm.
really cool. They didn't go with like the cliche, oh, there's a light at the end, or there's someone standing there. It was like, it was the gears standing up and no longer just like clattered on the ground, useless.
Yeah,
Which
that
I
was a
think was
cool.
cool symbolism. It's like,
That was. I really like that. It was a good scene.
yeah. Except, unfortunately, it's because she loves Naoto. It's like, no! Stop
Oh.
that! He's such a fuck boy. He's not worth it. But yeah, so Ryuzu lives. Heck yeah. I don't know how they fixed the giant gaping hole that would be in her back from her scythe, but
Ah. Mm. Don't worry about it.
apparently they
Sure,
did.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. She probably like can open up her back or something.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure they. I'm sure they put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, and they found all the like couple thousand gears that spilled out on the floor when she did it.
Mhm. I'm sure they got enough spare parts lying around there to fix anything.
Hmm.
So.
And yeah, so we get the preview for the next episode. Because yeah,
Mhm.
everything is mainly just big action scenes and like long drawn out scenes of everyone's fixed, everyone's fine, it's all good.
Mhm.
Preview for next episode. They haven't really said what happens with the military or any of that yet, so that might still be coming.
Mhm.
They're still probably gonna play a part. They're probably gonna like. I honestly think they're gonna be the ones blamed for the issue, like the military and what's his name who's running. It's like Mary and whatever the people with her tried to drop this and fuck it up on you
Yeah.
or something. So then they'll be on the run from the police and probably end up where the first one is. But in the preview, they show a glowy girl who looks badass and cool. And I think I
Mhm.
saw her in the opening.
Yeah, I think so. I'm guessing
So,
that's the other sister that they're going to.
yeah,
I guess.
so
So I guess we'll see her next
we
episode, maybe.
yeah, we have 8 more episodes. I don't know if the arc's going to be like 4 episodes each or if they'll do like just for the next 8.
Mhm.
I'm questioning it about the sister because when they talk about her and show the outline, it looked to me like it's the character from from the intro, the like one that's like a little kid.
Mhm.
So if it is this sister, because I think the in the trailer they do mention the one who annihilates, which they did say was her sister in the tower. Um,
Yeah.
she doesn't look like the girl in the opening, which I thought she was because of the thing, but I mean the other stuff looks like gear and armor, so she might have that on. She might have been tampered with and might have been like made into a weapon or something or angry person, and that's why they're trying to drop it to hide the because as I said, I think they're trying to get rid of the other sister is why they're trying to purge and drop it. I think they might have
Mhm.
been experimenting on her, and that's why kids say like she's gonna fucking kill us all or something.
Yeah. Okay. That
But
sounds logical.
we'll find out if it is.
Yeah.
Damn, this show's a little too predictable.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like it. It still looks cool.
Mhm.
Still has good sound. The plot's okay. It's not awful. It's not Jing levels. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jing, your plot.
yeah.
Hmm.
Both these shows continue to be okay.
Yeah,
So
I'd still rank Clockwork Planet above Jing,
yeah, probably.
just because it does have a coherent-ish story. So it's like,
Yeah.
you do get that, oh, I can make theories about it. I'm kind of interested in what happens next week. Jing, it's just like, well, I guess we'll find out what kind of
Yeah.
shenanigans happen.
Hmm.
Something. But,
Yeah. The draw for Jing is really the imaginative art of it, and that's gets you so
yeah.
much better in the books, but
Yeah,
the show just
it's
doesn't show it
real
very well.
stylistic. Besides the neck in the books is,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
god.
that. Oh, it's like some of the art in the books looks really good, and sometimes it's weird bird neck. It's crazy looking.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like he's a twig that you could just like poke and it would snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So, oh yeah. Well, that's it for the book club. But I have one last thing to mention,
Okay.
which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
Although there's a 50% chance as we got our first hate mail.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
not gonna go into detail about, not gonna talk to it,
Hmm.
because from here out we're just gonna ignore it, because there's no reason to feed those people. I mean, they're not worth it. But we're officially hitting the big leagues. We have
Oh boy.
haters now, and
All
haters
right.
make us famous. So,
Yeah.
to quote a league player that I actually hate, to make him more famous.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so that was really weird because I posted on my Tumblr and I just get a message and the weird thing is I didn't get the message through my side blog I put it up on. I got it through my
Hmm.
main, so I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, weird.
That's why I said it's like 50% chance it's you.
No, wasn't
No,
me.
no,
Oh no.
just okay. Well, okay,
Wow.
we've hit the big leagues. We're
All
officially
right.
there. Uh, they can go fuck themselves. We're not gonna ever
Hmm.
mention them again or give them any more time. I just thought it was really funny that like 3 episodes in, we managed to get hate mail.
All
They
right.
like started off by saying it's good, then started to like insult things. But like,
Hmm.
you're not a fan if you are a piece of shit that insults things to people's faces.
Yeah. So we've gotten one fan mail and one hate mail, so we're doing pretty good so far, I
Yeah,
think.
and we got a list of questions to talk about at one point.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So
like we're a real podcast.
yeah, well, I'd hope we are by 4 episodes.
Hopefully.
Uh,
Yeah.
Um, I hope we'll continue to be. I'm enjoying this a lot.
Yeah, this is a ton of fun.
We still haven't gotten any guests on, but I mean,
Someday.
if we just have to do Legend of Galactic Heroes to get Harvard, that's like what 800 episodes or something.
So it's something like that. So it's approximately.
I'm actually searching this up. There's all
Yeah.
these movies too. It is 110 episodes. We'd only have to go for
Cool.
110 weeks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but like this is an OVA. This isn't even a show. It has 110 episodes. It aired for 9 years, and it's rated 9.11. Like this thing's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's something that I always think like, ooh, I should start watching
yeah,
that,
but
and I
it's
see
just
it's
so
like a
long.
zillion episodes. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll,
how
I'll
long
never
are the
get through all
episodes
that.
too? Oh, they're only 26. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
got through Hunter x Hunter, which is like 187, so I'm sure I could do it.
Yeah.
It's not Naruto, but
Yeah.
it's something to watch sometime. But it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like maybe
Like,
later. I've been watching all these
yeah.
other shows. I don't have the time for it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that
Yeah,
is
so
all I
I
had
think.
for the end here. If you had anything else,
I mean, not really. I watched Soccer Quest and Recreators this week 'cause I'm keeping up with those, and they are both really good. Not really anything notable to say about them. I
I've started to see like recreators gifs on Tumblr now. People are starting to
Yeah,
pick it up, and it actually looks really cool. So
it is.
I still have to check that
There's
out.
there's one character in it named Alistaria February. I'm like, that's a good name. It's a good weird name.
It reminds me
So,
of Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way.
oh boy, that's a name.
you wait, have you never heard this name?
I don't think so. It's not
Ebony
ringing any
Darkness
bells.
Dementia Raven Way. I think it's Welsh. I think it's
Okay.
Welsh. Okay, so Have you ever heard of My Immortal?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
famous for being a terrible fan fiction. It's like a mix of like Harry Potter and vampires or something, and
Okay.
it's like the ultimate Mary Sue. People make fun of it all the time. It's like I feel sorry for whoever wrote it because they get a lot of flack on the internet if they see that stuff. But like
Mhm.
that's the main character's name, and they're like this ultimate Mary Sue, and it's so funny.
Okay.
So it's always
Cool.
people just quote that all the time.
Hmm.
It's great. I think someone started doing like a web series of it, like just
Yeah.
with friends, and it's like completely absurd.
So.
God bless my immortal.
Hmm.
If you want some fun reading, that's
Yeah.
gonna be cringy.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Definitely make that priority.
It's honestly probably still better than any fan fiction I've written.
Eh,
Well,
oh.
that I've finished, because the only thing I've finished is something we're not gonna talk about. There's just some bugs and some hugs. Just some
Yep.
bugs and hugs.
Yep.
Well,
I
actually,
read
lack of
that.
hugs. It's
There's.
because
Yep.
there's not enough
Mm.
hugs. Anyways. Oh
Anyway.
no, it's handholds, not hugs. Yeah, they can be hugs.
Oh.
Bugs and
Yeah.
hugs. That's how I'll refer to it.
Okay.
People don't need to know what it's about.
Nope.
Oh god.
So
So yeah,
I guess that's about it for this week.
yeah, hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you next week where we talk about
Yeah.
episode 5 and whatever other news stuff we find. If
Hmm.
anyone has questions you want to send in, you can message us on any of our social media. Also, if there's like news stuff you find that you think we'd be interested in, you can send us that as well. Just
Hmm.
anything. And yeah, so thank you again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye bye.